couple of days ago, before I started filming this, two guys stopped me in the street. They were wearing a lot of sports gear, you know the type. Anyway, they asked me, is this like real M2 or is this just M package? Let me explain. Despite the looks and more than a dozen M badges around the car, this is not an M2. This car doesn't have the M gearbox, M driveshaft or M differential. It also lacks separate M settings for the steering, suspension, automatic gearbox. Speaking of the gearbox, this is an automatic rather than a DCT. Although it has M Sport brakes as standard, adaptive suspension is an option. Under the bonnet is a 3-liter straight 6, the same like in the 435i, with a twin-scroll turbocharger rather than two turbines like in the M3. This engine produces 326 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque, and when mated with the 8-speed automatic, it's good for 0 to 100 km/h time of 4.8 seconds. This is about half a second slower than BMW M4, but it's also fractions of a second faster than BMW 435i, Audi RS5 Cabriolet or Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. It's also more or less on par with the E90 BMW M3, which many of you love. The sound? Well, let the car speak for itself. Here I should say a few words about the size of the 2 Series. Although it has the same wheelbase as the 1 Series, the 2 Series is 13 cm longer than the 3-door 1 Series and slightly wider. The 2 Series, which is a coupe, now also has better proportions than the old 1 Series coupe, which looked as if someone attached a box at the rear of a hatchback. Unfortunately, despite the roofline falling a bit further, even average height people will struggle for space in the back. On the plus side, the boot is 30 liters bigger and the seats fold flat. But despite there being a lever in the boot, you still have to go around and fold them yourself. The grip. It's phenomenal thanks to these Michelin Pilot Sport Plus tires. The brakes, I can't learn them. Sometimes they work from all the way up and sometimes I have to press the pedal halfway before I feel any braking. I don't know why this is happening, but I have no confidence in them. Handling? On the road, it's brilliant. The car is really well balanced and it responds to the slightest steering inputs. On a track, it's not as good, and that's taking the idiot behind the wheel into account. You can see there's a snap when the car changes direction and the weight shifts from one side to another, and the car weighs 1500 kilograms, plus the driver. Does it feel like an M car? No, it doesn't. The steering is precise, I give it that, and I don't mind how light it is, but the whole car lacks this mechanical aggression, mechanical feel of an M car. It lacks this final kick in the groin. Everything in this car is about rough sex, okay? But it's not true S&M. But then, not everyone likes it rough, and not everyone can afford it. Prices start at around 44,000 euros, which is about 4 grand less than the M135i hatch. It's also around 4 grand cheaper than the 435i and a whopping 31 grand cheaper than the M4. From this perspective, the M235i is a bargain, because even with some extras, this car is just 60,000 euros. Also, watch my review of BMW 435i, BMW M3 and M4, Audi RS5 Cabriolet. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the logo in the right upper corner here. New reviews every Friday. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. You'll find all the links in the description below. And now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The grip is phenomenal thanks to these Michelin Plus Sport, Michelin Pilot.